Now, who should you apply it to, or rather, because I'm a wordsmith, to whom should you apply it? Select your targets and use it deliberately. Okay. In the course of being a people manager, you will be talking to people about their performance, behaviour, and taking on tasks and all that sort of thing. And you'll be seeking to get their commitment to making improvements, particularly in the case where somebody's performance or behaviour is under par. And they will have you will have learned in the other bits of the course how to get them to commit to that. Now your follow-up on that is first of all to find out whether they have made any improvement, and then as soon as you spot one, immediately fix it into place, fix that improvement into place by giving them something pleasurable and memorable, not rememberable, pleasurable and memorable, so that it reinforces their good feelings about doing the right things. Okay, so if you've had a counselling interview of some sort with a person to get a change in their behaviour or performance, and they have made that change, they've made a satisfactory degree of change. They may not have made a complete change, but you may want to reinforce the process of making the change. Give them a good dose of praise and recognition. Quite often, through no intervention of your own, you get people putting in much more than you expected. Somebody stays on extra, this testimonial you got, you gave up your Saturday to do the emergency work, that sort of thing. People put in more than you could normally expect them to do in relation to how much you pay them. Now, do we want to encourage this sort of thing? Yes, we do, folks. We want people to feel that they get some sort of jolly, some sort of good feeling out of doing good work, doing extra good work, putting in more than was expected. And so, if we want to encourage it, which obviously we do, then we spot it and apply praise and recognition techniques in order to reinforce it and make more of it happen. This is basically about manipulating people, isn't it? That's all right. This is what the manager is for. Okay. The other kind of person, a group of people who are quite often totally neglected in organisations, are those who haven't needed to make an improvement because they're okay already, who don't put in massive amounts of extra commitment, but they're always there. You can always rely on them. So they tend to get overlooked in organisations. Now, on the one side, those are the kind of people who don't have much in the way of need for praise and recognition. They don't need it as much as the people whose behaviour has been wonky. But they do need some, every now and again. Some sort of recognition that you do value their steadiness and dependability. Even. Because if you don't do that, these are the kind of people who sort of potter along for 10 years and then they set fires to the building. I worked in an organisation which is a fairly large merchant bank in the city, where a disgruntled employee put a day's worth of mail through the shredder. Ooh, and then walked out. Those sorts of things happen. People may not always be steady and dependable, and they give that appearance, but they may be festering underneath. I don't know if any of you have ever worked in organisations where no matter what you're doing, nobody ever gives you any recognition for anything, nobody's given you a good word in the last 10 years, blah, blah, all that sort of thing. People do let that sort of emotion fester, and quite often they do blow up. So recognise that, and you do value steady dependableness anyway, dependability. Not all organisations adopt the rhetoric of the sort of city organisations which want everybody to be thrusting 110%, blah, 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 all the time. You just want them to come in and do what they're paid for, basically. And if you've got some others that can do more, then great. But those are your cornerstones of your business. So, it's a rare technique to be used because it is so powerful, and you select your targets and carry on from there. Okay, so that's the who, or even the whom. Here is the how.